I'm not a fountain pen aficionado, but I do like the feel of a good fountain pen. So when the folks at Bastion said, would I be interested in trying out one of their pens? Well, of course I said yes, and this is what has arrived. So very nice packaging, very clean, very engineered, which having looked at their website, I'm not surprised about. It's very manly. It's definitely aimed at, oh, I don't know, guys in pickup trucks that have got a good toolkit in the back and probably a screwdriver in their shirt pocket and a spanner in their jeans pocket. But hey, I'm not a girly girl, so I don't need pink fluffy things. This looks really nice. This is the aluminium pen, and they do one in stainless steel, black stainless steel and titanium. You can hardly see the join. I mean, you can certainly see the join, but it's not very obvious. It's got a clip, oh, really stiff clip. It very clean, beautiful lines, seamless barrel, and it's heavy. I haven't weighed it, but it certainly feels heavy, and this is an aluminium version, so I presume the stainless steel one is really chunky. It does come with a little pouch to put it in, and I presume, given that aluminium is such a soft metal, that is very necessary. I have a feeling this could get scratched. Given how rough I am on my art materials, this may well get scratched. Everything I'm saying here is from an artist's point of view rather than a calligrapher's point of view. There's some very subtle branding here on the lid. That lid is incredibly long. I presume that's the lid. So it's a screw-off lid. Incredibly long. Let's put it there, and then let's see what's here. Oh, good. So it does have a converter ready with it. I am not a fan of cartridges, partly because it's just yet another single-use plastic, partly the expense, and partly that I like to be able to swap my inks around for drawing purposes. That fills my heart with joy. I understand that you can use cartridges if that's what you want to do, and I think it's the standard short cartridges that fit in here. Look at the length of the lid compared to the body. That is really long, but you have got this really nice turned holding post, and that's good. Oh, I anticipate it being good as an artist, because quite often you'll want to hold it further up the barrel so that you can get a looser line. I am presuming, yeah, you are not meant to post the lid on the back end of it. I think you'd end up scratching that and, well, it doesn't fit. Now, as a fairly disorganised artist, that slightly concerns me, because I can imagine I would be out sketching. I'd be, you know, sketching away, lovely, 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 and I've lost the lid. On the other hand, we've got these little O-rings here where the ink is filled, and here. And that is great because that will stop leakage. I presume that should be pretty good for taking on an aeroplane if you want, because that cabin pressure could be an issue. But just general leakage, we don't want permanent inks or any inks leaking all over the place. So lovely to see, again, that sort of engineering O-ring. It feels like a quality product. It's got a nice weight. Action of these sort of turnings is very smooth and pleasant. This is very sort of bullet-like, which I guess goes with the somewhat macho branding that I saw on the website. Aesthetics are just aesthetics. How does it actually work? It has a Moonman nib number 5, and I've heard different opinions, not all complimentary, about this nib, so I will be interested to see how it draws as opposed to writes, and the only way to do that is to fill it with ink and give it a go. I've treated myself to some new waterproof fountain pen ink. It's called Sketch Ink, and it's from, I apologise for the butchering of this pronunciation, Roira, sorry, and Klinger from Leipzig. It's fountain pen ink, but it is waterproof fountain pen ink, and it's a grey. I bought it to see whether it's a good alternative to Lexington grey from Noodlers. So if you're not a sort of fountain pen person, filling is terribly easy. Just make sure this is right to the top, dip it in, and then twiddle that end, and that will suck the ink into the chamber. Just wipe off any excess, reconstruct, definitely put the lid back on your ink. I want to try this on two surfaces. I'm going to try it on my little moleskin sketchbook, which I take out and about for sketching from life. Often put watercolour over the top, so this sort of thing. Very smooth paper. It'll be interesting to see how it goes on there. And then I've got just a scrap bit of watercolour paper. I have no idea what the brand is, doesn't really matter, but this has more texture, heavier weight paper, so it'd be interesting to see how the pen copes with that. Let's go back to this scrappy page. I was on a train coming back rather late at night. Actually, I'd just been up to London, so this is by the Tower of London, and thought, oh, I'll sketch people, wouldn't that be good? But then it was 10 o'clock in the evening and I really wasn't up to sketching. So we've just filled it, so it may take some time for the ink to come through, and there's the ink flowing through. I think this is a fine nib. If I hold it further up, whether it skips, you know, so if I was doing a sort of expressive type mark, would it skip? Is it scratchy? I've got to remember that this is grey ink, so if this looks pale, it may be down to the grey ink rather than the fact that it's not putting a lot on the paper. I mean, it's not writing wet, you know, that is dry, it's not smudging. It's drying very quickly. If I press it harder, the nib is a bit more responsive, so we get a thicker line. And we get a nice fine line if I hold it further up. I wonder, sometimes it's nice to write with it upside down to get a really fine line. So we've got some good line width there. That's all feeling really nice, actually. Let's do exactly the same. We're getting some skipping there on the watercolour paper, I guess because of the texture. Let's have a look. If we press harder, obviously that's a thicker line. We've got that middle line, and let's see about our upside down for a super fine line. So the texture of the paper is slightly interfering with the line, and that's not a surprise because we've already seen that it wasn't writing particularly wet. You know, this is dry now. That's great because it won't smudge when I'm drawing, but we're likely to get a bit more skipping than we would on a wetter pen. So first impressions are very positive. It feels beautiful, certainly weighty. That nib seems nice and smooth. I'm certainly not going to be using the clip, so that's really tight, but I don't mind about that. What I'm going to do is a second part to this, and I'll do an actual sketch with it. So if you're interested in seeing that, come back for part 2. But as I say, initial impressions are very positive. You may be wondering what the price is, of course. So in the UK, they vary between, this was on Amazon, £42 for the stainless steel, that was the cheapest, up to £52 for the titanium. On Bastion's own website, I was really interested to see, because they do free worldwide postage, international postage. The aluminium starts at £49, so that's what I've got here. The stainless steel was £57, as I say, on UK Amazon it's 42, And the titanium, it was £82 on their website, £52 on Amazon in the UK. Know which I'd be ordering from. Yes, I also know, before anyone says Amazon has such a stranglehold, is it good, is it bad? I'm not going to get into that debate. All I'm saying is you can save £30. US, obviously this is an American company, American made. The cheapest, the aluminium, is $59.99 and it goes up to $99.99 for the titanium. I haven't checked US Amazon. So is this the pen for you? It's certainly a quality instrument and it feels like it would last for a very long time. If you're looking to treat yourself to a metal quality pen rather than a plastic Lamy or a TWSBI, then it might well be something to consider. The biggest benefit are these O-rings that we've spotted down here, because we're not going to get leaks in our art bag or when we're out and about sketching, and that I think would certainly weight me in its favour. So come back for part 2 if you'd like to see how this Bastion pen actually copes with a spot of urban sketching.